Pinq has split from his longtime duo Vico to come over to NA Central and join the 6-time FNCS champion Mero, who recently split from his teammate Dukes. And in today's video, we're going to break down how they had one of the best comebacks we've seen in a long time to win the Opens round of the Duo Cash Cup. Pinq and Mero are now landing at the Cooper and Kanata split from last season. Cooper and Kanata have left this drop due to the fact that they qualified for globals, so they can now contest a much better drop spot. This also makes sense because Cooper and Mero are obviously great friends, so they're going to get the inside track on how to play this slot properly. Now, Mero is going to be landing up top where the RV spawn, and Pinq is going to be landing towards the beach across the river, which is going to give them a moderate amount of health and shield and loot. However, Mero is going to make a very aggressive play as a solo, beaming this fully shielded duo as they pass by, and even picking up a free elimination when this opponent gets beamed and does not properly protect himself. It was a very aggressive play to take this fight without having a shotgun by Mero, but there's a reason why he's a 6-time FNCS champion. Mero is going to then be immediately third-partied by fellow professional player Sparebow. However, after eating a significant amount of damage, he doesn't play scared, actually still building up and trying to get shots off to hopefully keep that team away from him, which eventually works as Pinq comes and support him and gives him some shield. They also then use this opportunity to set up nice angles since they have the advantage of high ground, and they farm this team for Surge, cracking shield, and as Pinq uses his mouse and keyboard aim to tap fire and get free Surge. As they stick around in the same area, they actually run into the solo that Mero initially eliminated. This allows them to get a free elimination as Pinq hits a massive 107 tag with his DMR, and this opponent is Shambles, so Mero easily cleans them up, and now they have additional Surge and some elimination points. Pinq is obviously the IGL in this duo, and I want you guys to pay attention towards the end game here, how he ends up saving a bunch of health and materials here by when he's rotating. As soon as he takes one singular bit of damage, he decides to simply just cut his losses and base up. It wasn't intended to be permanent. However, he ended up scouting out here, and all of these wood builds eventually get replaced, and this was a good decision here because they ended up not getting shot at all. Pinq is going to once again show his value as an IGL. This duo has also been incredibly smart, taking the dashes from the River of Styx to give them additional movement. And when they get this far zone on the dead side, they do not hesitate, immediately popping a Nitro Splash and using one dash to get some distance so they can establish themselves early on without them getting caught by the entire lobby, thus putting them in a great position for this endgame. Their early positioning in this next zone is going to pay off. As Pinq gets them established, Mero ends up looking for another impact as this opponent is getting W-keyed by a fellow professional player in Quanti, and Mero uses good aim to pick up this elimination, and they tarp over to the materials and get a much needed refresh before the moving zones have begun. Pinq once again is going to set them up for success in this next rotation. They once again get a far pull. However, due to the fact that Pinq was scouting this entire time, he had already planned their rotate, and as soon as the zone popped, they once again use a Nitro Splash to get ahead of the entire lobby, easily allowing them to get established on this lower layer and also use this metal structure to refarm some materials. Now, this isn't going to be their resting place as they obviously don't want to be the low ground in this Nitro meta, so Pinq is just waiting for the zone to move in so he can elevate here and expand their tarp. Pinq's strong positioning is once again going to lead to success for this duo. They catch an opponent rotating on their lair, and Mero's going to open up the damage with a significant shotgun shot. They're going to play aggressive here, and the tarp that Pinq had invested is already going to pay off as that opponent is Shambles and actually boxes up right into their tarp, so they're easily able to get another refresh before this endgame really has started. The importance of this tarp is going to be twofold, as after they get this refresh, they are immediately ran in on with Nitro, and Pinq nearly ends up going down flying through the air, but fortunately he's able to reconnect, and this earlier tarp gives them a structure where they can immediately go back to, where they don't have to worry about continuously reboxing and having fresh builds that other opponents can shoot or use Nitro to get in. Right before the moving zones, Pinq is going to demonstrate the exact same principle. He's going to pre-tarp in a lot of hard materials and elevate, and Mero is going to do what he does best, which is sit in the back of the tarp and look for frags. And of course, he sees these two opponents stuck on backside, and he ends up picking up two huge eliminations, getting much needed materials. Pinq also does a great job here of not going down as a team nitros in on him, but he uses good mechanics to quickly escape and go back to that pre-tarp, which once again gives them a safe haven in this chaotic meta. After returning to their tarp, they are stuck on the backside of zone. However, this duo has smartly saved dashes from the River of Sticks, so they can easily go from backside to front side of zone, just like in last season, and that's exactly what they do as Pinq gets them established for the next rotation. After getting established, they get a pretty far pull, and because Mero doesn't have a dash, he actually ends up leading this rotation, and Pinq meets up with him later. They try to look for an impact and let zone expand as they sit in the same position. Immediately though, Pinq ends up popping a Nitro Splash, but I don't know if there was a miscommunication because Mero ended up going the other way. However, he ends up picking up an elimination, and Pinq ends up establishing him after a beautiful rotation, getting them on a clean layer. And I think Mero was incredibly fortunate here as he actually gets hit with Nitro, which vaulted him right on top of Pinq's structure, which is a little bit lucky. Mero is once again going to lead this rotation, however he ends up getting punished here as he doesn't properly cover his head and he eats around 125 damage. Fortunately though, his teammate is right on his back to immediately build in hard materials and drop him a Nuka-Cola, and as he pops this, they're granted another free elimination as an unsuspecting opponent is in their tarp below, and Mero cleans up this free refresh. Pinq is going to do a good job here after this elimination to get them established ahead of zone so they can look back and get an easy elimination in the storm. However, things nearly go in a disastrous way as fellow professional player Sphinx tries to get in the box here. However, Pinq and Mero act in synergy, and Mero ends up picking up this elimination, as well as Pinq picking up an elimination to the opponent that they fried in Storm, granting them another refresh and 2 elimination points. After getting this refresh, it is now time to look for height, and Mero notices the opponent here is in wood and is essentially shambles. He doesn't rush though, as he pops a Nuka-Cola to get maximum HP, and he also makes sure all of his weapons are reloaded. He immediately then sprays out the opponent, who instantly gives it up since he's a solo with little to no materials, and now high ground is there. Mero ends up branching out in wood here, and Pinq decides to play aggressive on the low ground to try and get frags since they have it pretty much in the bag. Pinq and Mero combine to get a ton of shots into Yamzo, and Pinq picks it up, and now it's left to a 2v1 situation with that opponent already being in zone, trying to heal off, and it's an easy elimination for Mero as that opponent tries to get in, thus wrapping up a 12 elimination victory royale and the game, which caused them to win the Duo Cash Cup with a horrendous start and a very impressive comeback. The strengths of these two players in this duo were on display throughout this entire VOD review. Pinq constantly puts Mero in good positions to get eliminations, which then can continue and prolong their matches. They also make aggressive rotations that allow them to not have to worry about getting their materials burned, and their pre-tarping here gave them safe spaces to return to when things got hectic, and this was a very clean job from this duo, and they completed one of the most impressive comebacks in a Duo Cash Cup I've seen. Well guys, thank you for watching today's VOD review. I hope that you guys did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing the next one. Peace.